Hi guys and ladies. I wanted to talk with you about smoking causes mental illness, psychosis, schizophrenia, psychotic, and yeah, it's just a new warning that came out yesterday that I saw on the news, on television, and also on the internet. So basically, if you smoke, it causes it will cause mental illness, and I'm going to read out this article soon about the details of it. But basically, I tell you what mental illness is like, because me personally, I'm recovering from it, basically, because also I got discharged from a CPN in April this year. So if you guys want to ignore me and continue smoking, get used to that name, that title, that I think they call it crop column, cry column or something like that. Where they call it, it, basically they call it, everyone calls it CPN. People with mental illness call it CPN, which stands for care practitioner nurse. And you have to get used to the word. What was the word? Psychiatrist. Basically, that's basically a mental doctor. So you can you I mean, if you want to ignore me and just carry on smoking, but you don't one of the things you don't want to have one of the things you don't want to have is mental illness, because what psychosis and what psychosis is, and some of the mental illness is the psychosis is basically intrusive thoughts, which is bad thoughts coming into your mind, telling you what to do, harming it tells you to harm people, harm yourself, commit suicide. And you can see visions, like really really disturbing visions, like you on your finger, you see, for example, you see your finger cut, and you see red and white, and pus and goo, and red and blood goo coming out. So you just see on your finger. That's the vision out that's the kind of vision you can get, that's quite disturbing. And that's what happens if you smoke. So the best way to to stop that from happening is to basically give up smoking. Then the other thing is, as well, you got, once you got mental illness, you will have to be I don't know if it's sectioned under the mental. I think you have to be. I'm guessing you have to be sectioned underneath the mental illness or mental illness act, or registered as mentally ill. You get a letter from the NHS saying that you're mentally ill and stuff like that. But once you get a CPN in charge of you, they're only going to look after you as best as they can, and they have to go through a system. It's going to be a system that you're not going to like. I would have thought, because they're going to want you, if you want to stay up late, they're going to want you to stay up, go to bed early. If you if you if you stay up late, and also they give you the freedom to do what you want to do, but when it comes to medication, because when you've got mental illness, you're going to be on the medication, and all of these medication that you take, or for mental illness, basically all these medications make you sleepy, every single one of them. Whatever dosage you have, whatever milligram you have, it makes you sleep. It makes you sleepy at night. Sometimes, sometimes it can make you. Because I give you an example. Say you want to have a bath, and you or a shower, and you're so busy, or you can't be bothered to have a shower because you're so tired. You end up delaying having a shower or bath because you're so tired, and you end up smelling and stuff, and not looking decent because of the medication, because it makes you tired, and it makes you a bit lazy because you're tired, and you have to make an extra effort to get up and do things, because once you take the medication, it's very hard to get off the medication. Sometimes you have to be on medication for life, but God can heal you from that, from mental illness. And also, all mental illness is all these voices that you hear or will hear. All these voices that you will hear, they're obviously, and I do believe they're demonically inspired. They're from the devil, because when you hear these negative voices, they're all from the devil. I mean, you can hear God's voice, obviously, but God's voice is only positive. But I'm saying anything negative that goes against the Bible is not from God. If anything negative comes, if anything negative that goes against the Bible, it's not from God. Anything that's from the Bible is anything from the Bible, or anything positive is from God. Anything positive. So that's the little brief thing about how God speaks to us. Anyway, that's what I was explaining. So the negative is from the devil. So negative is from the devil, and the positive is from God. The voices, that is. So it can, mental illness can drive you to suicide. It can drive you to commit suicide. And it's not a good, not a good feeling to be in. It's not a good situation to be in, and it's a deep struggle. It's a deep struggle, but it can be overcome with the blood of Jesus and God's power. And giving up smoking is easy. Well, for some people it might be easy, but I've got videos about how to stop smoking and stuff like that, and two videos on how to stop smoking. Or if you can't find them, just call me. It's in the description. So yeah, when you basically, when we keep smoking, and we get ill, we that that's called a relapse. When you have a relapse, and you get ill, and you're not of yourself, you're not behaving yourself, you're not in your right mind. When you get ill, what was it now? when you get ill, the mental illness is so severe. You sometimes can think that you're dead, because all sorts of things can happen. You get paranoid as well. You get paranoid, worrying about if somebody, what paranoia is basically somebody, you think somebody's after you or chasing after you, or you're in some kind of trouble, when in fact you're not in trouble, you're fine. So yeah, the best thing is to just give up smoking completely. So everyone that's ill, whether mental illness or disabled, or the legs been taken off, or any kind of illness that the world offers, any kind of illness, that person that with those individual illness, whether it's cancer or something, they'll tell you, you don't want to be ill, you don't want to have my illness. They'll tell you that, and I'm telling you, you wouldn't want to have mental illness. So yeah, so let me read you this article that I've seen. It's quite long. The article's quite long, but I'll go through with it. It's titled "Smoking May Trigger Schizophrenia." Scientists warn. So in the subheading it says, King's College London research finds smoking can triple the chances of developing psychotic mental illnesses. So it says, and this article was done yesterday, the 10th of July 2015, at, if you want to know the time, 7:41 a.m. BST time. And it says by agency. Basically it says chemicals in tobacco may help trigger serious mental illnesses such as schizophrenia. A study suggests new research shows that smoking can triple the chances of developing psychosis, which is bad thoughts in your mind, which is what I said earlier. Previously, the fact that people with psychotic mental illnesses are more likely to more likely to smoke has been put down to non-causal factors such as obtaining relief from distress or self-medication. But now scientists believe something in tobacco might actually be responsible, alongside genetic and environmental influences. Dr. James McCabe, a member of the team from King's College London, said, while it is always hard to determine the direction of casualty, our findings indicate that smoking should be taken seriously as a possible risk factor for developing psychosis, and not dismissed simply as a consequence of the illness. The researchers analyzed data from 61 observational studies involving almost 15,000 tobacco users and 273,000 non-users. They found that 57% of people treated for a first first episode of Psychosis were smokers. Psychotic patients three times three times were 3 times more likely to consume tobacco than individuals without severe mental illness. The study also showed that daily smokers became psychotic around a year earlier than non-smokers. The scientists whose findings are reported in the Lancet Psychiatry Medical Journal medical journal acknowledged that causality is difficult to prove. The theory is a possible link between smoking and excess dip, dopamine, a brain chemical that plays a role in transmitting nerve signals. Professor Sir Robin Murray from the Institute of Psychiatry, Psychology and Neuroscience at King's College said excess dopamine is the best biological explanation we have for psychotic illnesses such as psy, psy oh we have four psychotic illnesses such as schizophrenia. It is possible that nicotine exposure by increasing the release of dopamine. Sorry, got that wrong before. Dopamine causes psychosis to develop. A proven link has already been found between cannabis use and psychosis in genetically vulnerable people. Dr. Samir Juha, another member of the King's College team, said longer-term studies are required to investigate the relationship between daily smoking, sporadic smoking, nicotine dependence, and the development of psychotic disorders. In view of the clear benefits of smoking cessation programs in this population, every effort should be made to implement change in smoking habits in this group of patients. Dr. Michael Bloomfield, clinical lecturer in psychiatry at University College London, said it has been known for some time that patients who have schizophrenia are more likely to be cigarette smokers than people who do not have schizophrenia. Yet a definitive explanation why this is the cause has been lacking. This new study combines previously published scientific data into a statistical analysis which found that smoking cigarettes appears to modestly increase the risk of developing schizophrenia, which is spelled Schizophrenia. Six, appears in modestly increase. It appears to modestly increase the risk of developing schizophrenia in later life. There are a number of po- possible possible there are a number of possible ways to explain how this may be happening, such as by heavy cigarette smoking increasing the ability to make the chemical dopamine in part of the brain called the stratum, which is in turn thought to play an important role in the development of schizophrenia. However, how more re- however, much more research is needed before scientists can say for certain that smoking definitely increases the risk of schizophrenia, since it remains possible that people who would go on to develop schizophrenia are more likely to start smoking. Regardless of these findings, there is overwhelming evidence that nicotine you sorry regardless of these findings, there is overwhelming evidence that nicotine use through tobacco smoking is one of the most dangerous drug problems in the world. Anyone who needs help in stopping smoking should speak with their doctor. Marjorie Wallace, chief executive of the mental health charity SANE, said it has long been known that people with a psychotic illness such as schizophrenia are far more likely to smoke both cannabis and tobacco. While many scientists believe that there is a direct link between cannabis and levels of dopamine, open bracket, the chemical messenger in the brain, which is related to psychotic experience, close bracket. The evidence of a similar relationship between nicotine and the brain is currently less clear. What we need is more research before taking further steps to deprive people whose only relief from the chaos and distress in their minds comes through smoking. We should aim to find ways of separating any men sorry let me start again. We should aim to find ways of separating any benefit sorry we should aim to find ways of separating any beneficial components of both cannabis and tobacco, which alleviate alleviate mental pain. while eliminating those that can damage physical health, as well as potentially contribute to psychotic illnesses or illness. And that's it. But um but the just taking the time, I've also heard that smoking e-cigarettes or electric cigarettes is not healthy as well. It can damage your lungs. But some people smoke it just to because smoking e-cigarettes is more healthier than normal cigarettes. And some people want to wean themselves off smoking completely, or take or come off it completely. But yeah, so that's all I have to say for now. So God bless, take care, peace with you, have a good day, ciao, bye. By the way, it slipped my mind, just checking the time. It slipped my mind to tell you how to spell psychosis. Psycho Psychosis is spelled Psychosis. That's Psychosis. Okay, thank you. God bless. Take care. Bye now. Ciao, ciao.